Asha, is the screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Harsha Tomar. I work as Assistant Director at Mamta Health Institute for Mother and Child. And I'm here as consortium partner for a strength-based approach that we're implementing and evaluating in rural Indian settings. So without wasting any further time, I would like to also introduce my partners here. We'll start with Dr. Nayanji Chaudhary.
Hi.
So
Yeah, my name is Nayanji, and I serve as a Senior Global Technical Advisor at Public Health Institute, Oakland, California, and I'm seconded to Medtronic Foundation, and I'm based out of Bangalore. I also serve as an honorary advisor to the Ramaiah International Center for Public Health Innovations. Pleasure being here. Thank you.
Along with him, we have Dr. Shalini Nui. Ma'am, would you please like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Shalini Chandrasekhar Nui. I work as Program Director of the Ramaiah International Center for Public Health Innovations, as well as Vice Principal of the Ramaiah Medical College. Nice to be here.
We have Ms. Ritu B. Nanda, who probably all of you know, but Ritu, would you also introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, Namaste, Salam Alaikum. I'm Ritu. I'm joining from Delhi, India, and I was one of the people who trained the implementation organizations on the SALT approach, and I work with the Constellation. Welcome to you all.
We have Dr. Gopal Ashish.
Hi, Harsha.
Hi. Please
Hello.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, good evening to everybody, and my heartiest wishes for your safe health in future. I am Dr. Gopal Ashish Sharma. I have done my post-graduation in MD Community Medicine, presently Medical College, Shimla, located in one of the pretty state of India, Himachal Pradesh. And I would like to express my thanks to each and everybody present out here for letting me in this session. Thanks.
Thank you. We have Dr. Aram. Anand, can you hear us?
Hello, hi. Sorry, I was muted.
No.
This is Dr. Anand Ram. I serve as the technical lead for the monitoring and evaluation of the HealthRise project. I work for Ramaiah International Center for Public Health Innovations. I am based out of Bangalore, and I welcome you all. Thank you for coming. I hope you're all doing good. Thank you.
We have Dr. Gaurav Sethi.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Gaurav from Mamta Health Institute for Mother and Child. Basically, I'm based at Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. I'm working as an implementing partner from Mamta.
And we have Ms. Mridula.
Namaste. Hello, everyone. My name is Mridula. I serve in RICFI as a part of evaluation team and also as a public relations officer. And I'm so glad to be connected with you all today.
And last but not the least, we have Mr. Rajinder Brakta. Rajinder, can you hear us? Now you'll have to unmute and introduce yourself.
मेरा नाम राजेंद्र ब्राक्टा है और मैं ठियोग से हूँ और आप सभी से मिलकर अच्छा लगा क्योंकि बहुत टाइम बाद आप लोगों से मिलना हुआ और मैं अपने ठियोग ब्लॉक और मशोबरा ब्लॉक में एज अ सुपरवाइजर काम कर रहा हूँ।
So Rajinder Brakta works as a supervisor in the HealthRise project. He is based in Himachal Pradesh. He works in a small block called Thiog, and he is very happy to be here. Thank you, Rajinder.
Thank you.
Now, so I would extend a very warm welcome to each one of you here. Thank you very much for making it, and let's begin the session. So Mridula, will you help me with the slides? We can move to the next slide. So briefly describing the plan for the session, we will initially in a couple of minutes try to set up the context for the session, which will be followed by an exciting polling exercise. We'll talk about the strength-based approach SALT. We'll talk about the evaluation and monitoring part of it. Then we have a talk show with all the panelists, followed by questions from all the participants here. So thank you. Next slide. I hope you all know about a couple of the ground rules, but I'll just try and reiterate them. And please try and keep yourself on mute, just to avoid any background noise during the sessions. Any queries or comments, please do post them in the chat box, and we'll try and address them as soon as possible. In case of any technical issue, please try to reach out, you can write in the chat box, you can also unmute and talk about it. We also would like to hear your feedback and any kind of, observation or learning or takeaway that you have from this session. In the end, you can type that in the chat box. An important note, I hope you already know, because that the session is being recorded and there will be a group photograph at the end. So in case any one of you wants to opt out of the photograph, you can shut down your camera, but still your name will still be visible. So yeah. Next slide, please. Okay. So I'll begin with a brief background on the project. So we are here as part of HealthRise Consortium. Now HealthRise is a 5-year project which was funded by Medtronic Foundation, which primarily was to focus on improving access to chronic care, particularly in the underserved communities for diabetes and hypertension. This was implemented in 9 communities in Brazil, India, South Africa, and the US. And with the overarching goal and objective being same, each country site adopted it, and contextualized it as per the needs of the local settings. So in India, the project was implemented in Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. So in Himachal Pradesh is a northern state. So Shimla, which is a hilly terrain, and then Udaipur district in Rajasthan. The target population that we were catering to was between 15 to 70 years of age. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of the model, I'll briefly describe what exactly were we doing in HealthRise. So it's an integrated model of health system strengthening. HSS stands for Health System Strengthening and Community Empowerment. Now here we were trying to strengthen the system given the resource constraints that the country has. We try to build capacity of frontline health workers. We try to train medical officers for non-communicable diseases. We also try to work with government through advocacy and ensure all these supply chains and logistics at various health facility levels. And we also developed a management information system to kind of track record and track the entire data. So that was health system part of it. Now the other part to it was community-based care, so which was particularly focusing on continuum of care, patient-centric approach. We started right from community awareness, which we did using media campaigns like street plays, and we also did a radio campaign. So we did awareness for the community, followed by mobilization of the community to get screened for non-communicable diseases, diabetes and hypertension, which in Indian settings not many people actually go for. So when we mobilize them to get screened, we, with the help of frontline health workers, then organized screening camps at primary health center and sub-center level. Screened individuals, whosoever was found at risk for diabetes or hypertension, was then referred to a higher level of health facility for confirmatory diagnosis. After the patient is diagnosed of diabetes or hypertension, then the patient was followed up as per the National Health Program called NPCDCS in India for NCDs. As per the protocol, which was for, to follow up with the patients on a quarterly basis. Now, what happened was, there are a couple of gaps in terms of NCD care. So one, of course, is at the level of knowledge, which we could address through mid-media and mass media campaigns and IEC. Second was at the testing, mobilizing community and organizing screening camps in their vicinity also helped us kind of ensure that people get screened or tested. But then after being diagnosed of diabetes and hypertension, the major issue that most of the countries and patients face is basically on treatment compliance, and for which we were trying to organize or counsel patients for adherence to treatment, which includes both medicinal adherence as well as lifestyle modifications, regular testing and regular checkups with doctors. So what we really found was the adherence or compliance was extremely poor, and then we tried to look for innovative approaches which would help us engage with community, help them understand the need or importance of it. And hence we came across SALT, which we will talk about in detail in the next slide. Next slide, please. So now the first 4 years of intervention was over, and when we got to know about SALT, we thought of adopting it in our intervention area, at least in a small pocket of implementation area, so that we could see if an approach like SALT, which as of now I know is unknown to most of you, but this particular innovative, unique approach could help us in improving treatment compliance or in engaging with the community. So with this understanding that SALT has been implemented in more than 70 countries and across various public health issues, be it immunization, be it Ebola or HIV, we thought of adopting it. We implemented it in about 8 months and saw that the results were really promising. And then we reached out to the foundation again and requested for an additional 1 year to actually scientifically evaluate as well as also implement this process for a longer term to actually see how can it help in non-communicable diseases, improving access to chronic care. So for this, a consortium was formed, and all of our consortium members, most of them are here. The consortium comprises of Mamta Health Institute for Mother and Child, which is implementing the project in Himachal Pradesh. We also have Catholic Health Association of India, CHAI. They are implementing the project in Rajasthan, Udaipur, Rajasthan. We have the SALT experts from the Constellation, and we have Ramaiah International Center for Public Health Innovations, particularly for evaluating the entire intervention. Next slide, please.
Dr. Harsha, in the next slide, I want to talk about the archetypes, but I actually want you all to come with me to Udaipur and Shimla in India. So to take us all to Udaipur and Shimla, I would like to invite Dr. Anant, who would be actually setting the whole scenario in context.
Thank you,
Mridula.
Thanks. So before we go to the archetypes, let me give you a brief background as to where they come from, what are their issues. So non-communicable diseases, as Harsha has mentioned, predominantly diabetes and hypertension, are lifestyle disease conditions, and this requires a multi-pronged approach for their management. Here in these diseases and these conditions, the patient has an important role to play in terms of self-care practices. Previously, I think a few decades back, these illnesses were known to be occurring only in the richer class or the urban elite. But now in the rural areas also, they are undergoing a lot of lifestyle transition due to various factors. I think mainly being socioeconomic growth in the rural areas also. But the community in the rural setting do not have the same access to healthcare as their urban compatriots. There are many barriers with respect to both demand and supply of essential NCD care. The patients and the community's awareness of the disease and its risk factors is poorer compared to other population. The disease conditions are by themselves chronic conditions, and thus they are not a priority for majority, for the uninitiated rural population. There are multiple issues why they won't seek care also. There are gender-based issues, there are poor socioeconomic conditions which play a major role in their healthcare seeking and in their healthy living habits. Also in the rural areas, there are lesser number of healthcare facilities, both government and private. And the population there, as per what we have observed, they have apprehensions towards modern medicine also. And there are issues in the healthcare facilities as in medication supply, even the ones which are in the essential list of a PHC. And even if there are PHCs, even if there are health centers, there's acute lack of adequate human resource for primary healthcare. So with this, these many factors acting on the NCD care, let me introduce you to our archetypes. Mridula?
Yes, Anand. So let me introduce you first to Mr. Raja from Udaipur. He's a middle-aged man. He's 58 years old, farmer by occupation, and he lives in a joint family. He consumes tobacco and alcohol, and he did try to stopping, but he couldn't. He loves eating rice, and he has hypertension and prediabetes. Talking about the education level, he went to school up to high school, and talking about the exercise, he walks to and fro to the farm, and that's what he considers as his exercise. Unfortunately, his elder brother died of heart attack, and that's why he doesn't believe in modern medicine, and he dedicates his life to God's will. He has little knowledge of blood pressure and diabetes, and he has heard about it as serious conditions, but doesn't know what are their causes. And the last checkup he went through was 9 months back. This is Raja from Udaipur. Now let me take you to Rani from Shimla. She's 50 years old and again a farmer. She lives with her husband, and her children are settled outside. She has diabetes and, her husband has diabetes and thyroid, and she believes she cannot have diabetes or any blood pressure problem as she is very active. She participates in all the health camps that are organized in her village, and the last doctor visit that she had with her husband was 1 year back. She thinks that the work she does in the whole day, that naturally is an exercise. And she has a big friend circle where she talks and gossips and enjoys her spare time. She strongly believes in homemade food and knows about diabetes causes and complications. And her education level is up to higher secondary school. Now, as we have been introduced to these characters, I would like you all to do a poll. You just have to write the alphabet in the chat box. And the poll goes like this. But before that, we need to understand that these patients have actually visited a SALT meeting. Something has been there, something they have understood. They might have gone through some new ideas, or might have shared their stories. What do you think? When Raja returns to his home after the SALT meeting, what do you expect Raja would do after his first experience with SALT meeting? Your polling starts now. You can chat, you can write your answer in the chat box. A, he goes to the nearby hospital to get himself screened for diabetes or hypertension. B, he gets cynical about the intentions of these meetings and ignores the discussion of his peers in the meeting. He's unsure and waits to attend the next meeting to take any action on his health. Or D, after the meeting, he discusses with his friends and peers, encouraging them to accompany to the hospital. They go as a group. I hope we are done with this polling. Now let's go to a poll for Rani from Shimla. Again, Rani also returns to her home after the SALT meeting. What do you expect Rani would do after her first experience with SALT meeting? Options are given below. Whatever has happened in this SALT meeting, let us understand what exactly is there in this SALT meeting that has might have brought to the change or any difference. Dr. Harsha?
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Harsha.
Yes. Okay, so could you please mute yourself? Okay. So now we'll be talking about SALT, which is the strength-based approach all of us are talking about here today. Next slide, please. Now, the philosophy of SALT, at least to me, what I understand out of it is we try to ensure or motivate communities to take action or take ownership. Why? Because we firmly believe that we don't change communities, they change themselves. So that is the primary philosophy, at least for me, what I understand out of it. Next slide, please. Now, SALT is an acronym which stands for, you can see in the center, the word S stands for stimulate and support, A stands for appreciate, L stands for listen, learn, and link, and T stands for transfer and team. This approach, where we try to stimulate communities, appreciate them of whatever they've achieved in their life, and whatever they're proud of, we try to listen to them, learn from them, and we also try to link. At the same time, while we try to appreciate communities, learn from them, we also try to motivate them to team up and also transfer their learnings to other communities so that all of them together can then join in and take ownership or action. So the SALT approach is implemented through a process which is called community life competence process, which is a cycle you can see on your screens. The first step to this is where we go conduct individual meetings, we meet people, we try and talk to them, we try and listen to them rather than give information or provide information. We try and just learn from them and understand them. We try to ask them, who are we, who are we? And then after we do individual, rapport building, probably you can call it, we then organize groups, we bring together people to form and, to understand what exactly they want to achieve, which is done through step number 2, which is called where do we want to be in, actually is dream building, where we want them to all come together for a common dream, what they think should be for their community. It could be their well-being, it could be community's well-being at large. So anything that they want or they dream of. The third step is, once the community is comfortable in sharing and learning and they've built a common dream, then we motivate them to do a self-assessment kind of exercise, which helps them understand where they are at that point in time, at that particular point in time, and how much have to go to achieve what their dream is. Now, basis the assessment that the community does for themselves, they identify what are they good at, what they're not, and then what do they really have to work on. They develop the action plan. They work on it together and develop an action plan. And whatever they agree on or they think is their priority, accordingly, all of them come together and take actions. So that is the just do it action stage. And when we, the community take actions, it's a celebration. It's a moment where, we have kind of been able to motivate these communities, and they have themselves, probably we as all facilitators facilitate, but the community itself dreams, they assess themselves, and then they plan, and they actually go on taking actions. So then we organize a knowledge fair. We call it a celebration also, where they share what they have learned, what is something, what did they achieve, and what can they do better. Each of these steps, while we engage, we also try to do after experience reflections to understand and improve and learn. So yeah, this is the entire process that SALT and CLCP is all about. I would like to bring in Ms. Ritu here to add in and also talk about person-centered approach. Ritu, over to you.
So I am just going to share our reflections from the constellation as well as from theory. You on your screen can see all these this terminology: patient-centered, person-centered, people-led care. So here, participation is what we are talking about, and participation is a spectrum. Depth and range of participation is extremely important for us development professionals to think about. The balance of power. So who owns it? Who drives it? Whose knowledge is valued? Who decides whose knowledge is valued? So while reading this literature, terms like patient-centered care, person-centered care are primarily like we serve the patient. We listen to her or him, and we develop a regimen, a treatment regimen, which is suitable for that patient. However, beyond this participation, there's a term being used in literature called people-directed care. And in the constellation, my colleague, Dr. Jean-Louis Lembourey, has been talking about people-led care. So what here we are trying to explore and try, and what our experience in 70 countries is showing, and we are learning that people are the main actors in nurturing their health. healthcare providers can support them, can provide them services, can provide them awareness, all the information, medicine, but they cannot replace the people unless people take on charge. The response to the health challenge will not be that effective. Similarly, the state can develop policies and can actually lay the ground that how this interaction will be. So like it's assumed that communities on their own will take action, and the focus is more on health system, and the healthcare providers believe that they are in control, and we, the citizens, you, me, it's not only somewhere, some communities, the citizens, we all are like consumers of whatever they are, you know, like pumping out these BCC messages, telling us what to do, and mechanically we will on our own access all these services, and automatically we will have an effective response to health. But what we are learning here is that all these things are important, but unless people themselves take charge, and recently I did a document review of past epidemics like Ebola. And if you're really interested, Paul Richards' book, An Anthropologist, he talks about people's science, and where he says that unless people's science and scientific knowledge, unless they join hands, the response to health will not be effective. So here in the Constellation, we have been trying to encourage individuals as well as collective response when it comes from within and not stimulated from outside, is when we see people say, okay, this is important to me, I have to take action, not because the NGO is telling me or the government is telling me or the radio is telling me, because it's important to me and my family. So this is when people themselves decide, come together and take action. That is where they take ownership. And in this cycle, in each step, we see it's their dream, not the NGO dream. It's their self-assessment, it's their actions, and we are walking along. So let's enjoy this journey.
Thank you, Ritu.
Yes, this photo, actually an example. So recently, we can't go to the community anymore, but on International Yoga Day, we have been getting pictures from these communities, what they have been doing on their own in response to their health and celebrating International Yoga Day. Our idea of person-led care.
Okay, thank you very much, Ritu. Now we would bring in Dr. Anant Ram. He'll talk about how is he, and his team evaluating the entire intervention. Over to you, Dr. Anant.
Thank you, Harsha, and thank you, Ritu. Beautifully explained the concept of SALT. As you can see, the intervention here, the SALT CLCP is very, though is interesting, is very complex. The SALT has evolved through a natural community participation approach. It's difficult as an evaluation agency, as we can't base our evaluation on one established theory of behavior change. SALT has many undefined elements, many interesting aspects to it. It deserves a careful evaluation strategy. Next slide. The objective of our evaluation is not just to attribute the outcomes to the exposures, but also inform challenges and opportunities in ensuring the quality of the intervention is adequate, and to document nuanced changes adopted by the individual and by the community. But still, we had to have some expected outcomes. These are to demonstrate improvement.
Super.
May I request everyone to please mute yourself? Except Dr.
Caríssimo. É melhor colocarem algum sinalizador aqui, vão ter problemas.
Yeah. So the expected outcomes that we are looking for are to demonstrate improved clinical outcomes of patients with diabetes mellitus and hypertension exposed to salt CLCP approach in the selected geography. To demonstrate effectiveness of this approach in capacitating frontline health workers for enhanced community engagement in non-communicable disease management, and to demonstrate effectiveness of this approach in empowering patients in bringing a sense of ownership, in showcasing improved self-care practices and improved treatment adherence. Next slide. Well, to document and to evaluate all of this required a strong partnership with the implementers and the evaluators. This required us co-designing the intervention and the evaluation models and bringing it on the same plate. So our evaluation design is inbuilt in the program itself. This, even though the implementers and the evaluators are have a strong partnership while evaluating, we also made sure we kept the sanctity of the independent evaluation intact. Here we followed the quasi-experimental design, as in there are 4 intervention arms, as you can see. Here in the X1 set of villages, which is the intervention site, they were part of the previous health rise. They were part of they had already been exposed to 1 cycle of salt intervention in the previous phase of health rise. And in this transition period, they would receive another cycle of salt intervention. So they would receive 2, we can say 2 doses of salt intervention. In X2 group of villages, which are also the intervention site, they were part of previous health intervention geography, but they were not exposed to salt CLCP in the previous cycle. But in this transition cycle, they were introduced to salt CLCP. Here, they received 1 cycle of salt intervention. Here, the comparison between X1 and X2 is such that we can see the dose response, whether having a continuous or repeated salt interventions will bring more sense of empowerment, community ownership among the population, whether they would lead to increased effectiveness of ASHA or frontline health worker empowerment. This is designed to observe and record all of this. Coming to X3 group of villages, which is a counterfactual, they were part of health rise intervention geography previously, but they were not exposed to salt CLCP. And even in this transition period, they are not exposed to salt CLCP. In X4 villages, they are the virgin population. They were not exposed to any intervention of health rise. They were not exposed to salt CLCP, and they will not be. And in this transition phase also, they were not exposed to salt cycle. So we have 2 arms of counterfactuals and 2 intervention arms. This dynamic design helped us. It would help us in observing and recording measurable outcomes, verifiable data, and counterfactual. The evaluation, the monitoring and evaluation plan had a concurrent evaluation set in it that the consortium, we used an innovative and technically most relevant project management information system, MIS, to generate real-time data and to assess program performance against outcome and output indicators. The evaluation agency used information to periodically review each project component and refine strategies and activities, and also periodically inform evidence-based decision-making throughout the project. We used the mixed methods approach, as in we had both quantitative and qualitative components of evaluation. So this helped us to triangulate the findings to help us observe and record nuanced socio-dynamic, socio-behavioral changes in the community, which will usually be missed in quantitative data collection. So we designed our qualitative interview guide not on any one theory of behavior change, but multiple behavior change models. And on conducting these interviews, we derived what is called as not a pure grounded theory approach, but a modified grounded theory approach, where we actually get to know what changes, if any, have happened and why they seem to have happened, and what are the factors which are working or not working for SALT intervention in bringing about some sort of socio-behavioral changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anand. Yes. So now it's the time for the most important event for now. I would like to introduce 3 special guests who have just joined us. We have Mr. Ram Sharan, who is a patient, and he is based in Tiyog, Shimla. नमस्कार राम शरण जी, और आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. I would also like to introduce a frontline health worker called Asha, is Miss Sarla. नमस्कार सरला, और आपका बहुत स्वागत है. With this, I would like to hand it over to Dr. Nayanjit Chaudhary. Sir, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsha. It's my pleasure to have the privilege of interacting with so many panelists today. I hope I'll be able to do justice. And I'm very excited that we have the center of attraction of this entire program, and not just 1 but 2 patients. And I would rather call them participants. And we have the most important change agents in this game plan, the outreach workers from the program, and also the frontline health workers who volunteer for the government, called the Ashas. But I also definitely welcome Dr. Shalini, who's sitting with me, next to me, Dr. Gopal Ashish, good evening, Anantram, we have been listening to you, Dr. Gaurav from Shimla, and Ritu from Delhi, the Constellation. So thank you. I think...
I am sorry to interrupt, Dr. Nayanjit. I'm extremely sorry. Apologies. I missed introducing another participant, Miss Radha. Radha ji, आपका बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है, and sorry, she's also a patient from Tiyog.
Radha and Ram Sharan?
Ram Sharan, ji.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, and who is the outreach worker, you said?
Rajinder.
Oh, so Rajinder is there. Rajinder, very nice to have you on the panel. Excellent. I had an original plan of going for at least more than 1 round of questions with everyone, but given that I would hardly have about maybe less than 30 minutes, I would also like to have audience insights or reflections, as we finish the talk show. So let me see if I can do justice to what has been bestowed upon me. I'm very excited to go to maybe either Radha or Ram Sharan. Rajinder, आप हिंदी में उनको translate कर पाएंगे? क्योंकि I want to ask in English so that the rest of the audience who hails from different parts of the world can understand what I'm asking. But if you can translate what I ask into Hindi, that will be great favor. Can you do that, Rajinder?
Sir, I'll do it.
Oh, you'll do.
I hope you don't mind. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. पहले तो राम शरण जी आपका बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है. Thank you very much. It's quite late in the evening. I know you will have to probably go back home very soon. So मेरा ये पूछना है कि आप okay. Yeah, sorry, I go into Hindi because that's how I have been growing up. So you live in a community setting. You have your own social system, right? And you interact with a lot of people, during your daily life. You must have met, doctors or Asha sisters or our outreach worker, Rajinder. You also must have attended the SALT, meetings. against all the different interactions that you have in the society on a day-to-day life, what is something different in terms of your experience or exposure in these SALT meetings? Can you tell us?
Yes. राम शरण जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। और हम जानना चाहते हैं कि आप गांव में रहते हैं, ठियोग में कई सालों से रह रहे हैं, आप वहीं जन्मे हैं और बड़े हुए हैं, आप कई लोगों से मिलते जुलते रहते हैं, चाहे वो गांव की आशा बहन हो या हमारे राजेंद्र जी हो या डॉक्टर्स हो, और कई लोगों से आपकी बातचीत इंटरेक्शन होती रहती होगी। तो क्योंकि आप सॉल्ट मीटिंग्स इस तरह की अटेंड करते आए हैं, कई दिनों से सॉल्ट के तहत हमसे जुड़े हुए हैं, तो क्या एक ऐसी चीज है, क्या यूनिक है या क्या अलग है इस सॉल्ट के बारे में, अगर आप अपना अनुभव हमें बताना चाहें तो। राजेंद्र।
हाँ जी, नमस्कार जी।
नमस्ते।
हेलो।
नमस्ते, प्लीज बोलिए।
नमस्ते।
रामशरण जी, आपने थोड़ा रुक रुक के बोलना होगा, क्योंकि जब आप एक बार बोलेंगे उसके बाद मैं उसको इंग्लिश में बताऊंगी बाकी लोगों के लिए।
अच्छा जी।
जी बोलिए प्लीज।
मेरा नाम राम सन शर्मा है जी, और मैं गांव धरेज का रहने वाला हूँ, तहसील ठियोग, गांव धरेज। तो हाँ जी
जी बोलिए प्लीज रामशरण जी, क्या अलग लगता है? जी
हाँ जी
जी बोलिए प्लीज।
अपना परिचय मैं दे रहा हूँ जी आपको।
जी
हाँ जी, मैं गांव धरेज का रहने वाला हूँ, गांव धरेज का।
जी आगे बताइए।
अच्छा, इस मीटिंग से हमारे को बहुत ही अच्छा लगा, और बहुत ही हमारे को इस मीटिंग से जानकारियाँ मिल रही, तो ये हमारे लिए बड़ी सौभाग्य की बात है। और
जी
बाकी तो
जी। So रामशरण इज बेस्ड इन धरेज। सॉरी जी, रामशरण जी आप बोलना चाहते हैं कुछ और? जी जी बोलिए, आप, हम सब सुन रहे हैं।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हेलो हेलो।
जी बोलिए प्लीज।
डॉक्टर रशा, थोड़ा सा इन्हें कम सुनाई देता है, तो इसलिए इनको सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है प्रॉपरली ना।
अच्छा, मैं कह रही हूँ कि वो बोल सकते हैं, हम सब सुन रहे हैं उनकी बात, वो जो भी बोलना चाहते हैं।
आपसे ये पूछा है कि आपको अलग क्या लगा सॉल्ट मीटिंग में? हाँ जी।
अलग हमारे को बहुत कुछ अलग लगा जी। जैसे कि सबसे पहले हमारे को उठना बैठना अलग लगा। इस चीज में हमने उठने बैठने में काफी वो मतलब अलग सा वो महसूस किया, पाया। अच्छा उठना बैठना हुआ। और इसके अलावा हमारे अपने ग्रुप्स बने, ग्रुप्स आदमी के ग्रुप बने, और उसमें भी हमने आपस में जो भी मतलब बातें की, उसमें भी हमारे को अच्छी जानकारी आपस में साझा हुई। और इसके बाद हमारे वजह से कि हॉस्पिटल वगैरह हम पहले भी जाते थे मीटिंग से पहले, तो हमारे को वहाँ पे मतलब एक इग्नोर जैसा ही किया जाता था। हमारे को कोई भी वहाँ पर अच्छा भेद हमारे से नहीं होता था। तो इस मीटिंग के बाद जब डॉक्टर्स वगैरह हमारी मीटिंग में आए, हमने हमारे साथ मीटिंग की, तो उसके बाद जब हम हॉस्पिटल जाते हैं अपने गांव में, तो हमारे साथ बड़ा अच्छा वो भेद होता है, और हमारे साथ बड़ी अच्छी बातचीत होती है, और हमें कोऑपरेट किया जाता है। बाकी तो बाकी हमारे जो खेती बाड़ी के बारे में है उसमें भी हम हमारे को अच्छा वो मिला जानकारी, जैसे कि बिना खाद की खेती करनी और फल सब्जियां उगानी, ये हमारे को जानकारी मिली और हम इस चीज़ को कर रहे हैं। और इसके साथ साथ में बहुत सारी जानकारी हमको इस चीज़ से, इस मीटिंग से मिली।
धन्यवाद रामशरण जी। सो आई विल ट्रांसलेट
के बारे में भी जैसे कि वो बीपी वगैरह है, बीपी मेरा बहुत हाई होता था, बहुत ज़्यादा। तो इस मीटिंग के बाद जब हमने अपनी एक्सरसाइज भी करने का वो भी प्रेरणा मिली वहाँ से, इस मीटिंग से। और हम खाना खाने के बाद जैसे टहलते नहीं थे, तो हम
जी
खाने के
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद रामशरण जी। आपको आवाज आ रही है? हेलो।
और इस तरह से
राजेंद्र जी, आपको आवाज आ रही है? राजेंद्र, कैन यू हियर अस? हेलो राजेंद्र जी। धन्यवाद रामशरण जी। जी, अब हम हमारे साथ जो दूसरे हैं राधा जी हैं, उनसे भी बात करना चाहेंगे, इसलिए सॉरी, मुझे समय की कमी के कारण उन्हें रोकना पड़ा। तो आप प्लीज उनको बोल दीजिए कि हम समय के अभाव के कारण उन्हें रोकना पड़ा, बट क्योंकि हमें राधा जी से भी बात करनी है और बाकी लोगों से भी बात करनी है। पर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद उनका। I will quickly summarize what Ram Sharan ji has said. So he is a patient from Dharech, which is a village in Thiog, block Thiog, Shimla district. He said that, you know, before salt came to them, or before they did not have any information. After they got introduced to salt, they attended meetings, they shared with each other. It gave them a lot of information, one, of course, which helped them, you know, they got information about organic farming. They also got information on what should they do and what they should not. And all of them kind of came together. One important thing that he highlights here is, the first thing that he likes is, when you go to any other meeting, probably somebody would stand or sit on a chair and the rest people would, you know, sit or stand. The best thing that he likes is the way they sit. So in SALT meetings, we try and sit at up level. We want to ensure that everybody is at a common level. So they sit in a circle. So this is what he really liked. The third thing that he says is, because in these meetings he interacted with doctors, initially or before these meetings, doctors would not listen. They did not get any help from doctors while they visited health facilities. But after both of them participated in these meetings, the doctor's attitude also became much more positive than before. That's all. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Nainjeet, over to you.
Also, in the interest of time, can you also ask Radha the same question? I had a different question. I'll have to manage the time well.
Sure, sure. तो अब हम राधा जी आपसे भी बात करने चाहेंगे। राजेंद्र जी, अब जल्दी से राधा जी को भी ये सवाल, हम उनसे भी जानना चाहते हैं कि वहां पर आप वहीं रहती हैं गांव में, इतने सालों से इतने लोगों से मिलती हैं। जी जी
मैम नमस्कार।
नमस्ते।
मैं राधा जी बोल रही हूँ।
जी नमस्ते।
रहने वाली हूँ और मैम मेरे को इस सॉल्ट मीटिंग से बहुत ही अच्छा लगा। ऐसे तो हम बहुत सारी मीटिंगें अटेंड करते हैं और पंचायतों की मीटिंगें भी, अपनी महिला मंडल की मीटिंगें भी, और पर जो ये मीटिंग है, सॉल्ट मीटिंग है, इसमें हमारे को सबसे पहले तो एक अपना बैठने का तरीका बहुत ही अच्छा लगा मैम। और हम इस मीटिंग में गोलदारी से बैठते हैं। और मैम दूसरा हमारा ये कि हमारे को कोई भेदभाव से इस मीटिंग में कोई भेदभाव से नहीं देखते, क्योंकि इस मीटिंग में डॉक्टर भी होते हैं और प्रधान भी होते हैं, सब इस मीटिंग में भाग लेते हैं। और मैम हमारे को इसमें कोई छोटा बड़ा नहीं देखा जाता और हमारी सब को एक समान देखा जाता है और सबको ही हमारे को बोलने का इस मीटिंग में मौका मिलता है।
जी
और
जी।
इसमें हमारे को बीपी शुगर के बारे में भी बताया जाता है, खान पान के बारे में भी बताया जाता है, खेल कूद के बारे में भी बताया जाता है इस मीटिंग में। तो मैं मैम जी बीपी की पेशेंट हूँ और मैं 1 साल पहले और बहुत ही मेरा बीपी हाई होता था, 170 के लगभग जाता था मेरा बीपी। और जब से मैं इस सॉल्ट मीटिंग में जुड़ी हूँ और तब से मैम मेरा बीपी भी अब ठीक है और मैं दवाइयाँ भी खा रही हूँ। दवाई के बारे में भी इस मीटिंग से पता चला और सॉल्ट वाले के माध्यम से और क्या बोलते हैं आशा वर्कर के माध्यम से, और मेरे को इस मीटिंग में बहुत ही ये मिला है, सहयोग मिला है।
धन्यवाद राधा जी, धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
Harsha, Harsha, I have translated in the chat, so you don't have to spend time chatting.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's a great favor, Ritu. Actually, I was very enthused by both the answers, although Ramcharan took initially a bit of time to understand the question. But I think he came about very openly as to what he experienced, and Radha is fluent. I really sort of salute her thought process. Thank you both Radha and Ramcharan ji. आपसे फिर से मुलाकात होगी कहीं ना कहीं. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I think we have got the perspective of two important drivers of a community process, and I'm very curious to know what's the polling results. I guess at the end of this talk show, maybe Mridula or Harsha will tell us what are the polling results. But another very important change agent we have in the panel is the frontline health worker. We in fact have two frontline health workers. One is from the government and one is from the programs at the private sector. So Harsha, if I can ask Sarla, the ASHA, the accredited social health activist,
yes,
what is her role in terms of these meetings in Shimla? She belongs to the government setting. She volunteers for the government. She's incentivized for her work. What is her incentive to be in this program? Can you ask her?
Yes. राधा जी आपका स्वागत है. हम आपसे जानना राधा जी आप हैं?
Sir, I think her name is Sarla.
Sorry. सरला आप हैं कॉल में? हाँ जी, नमस्ते जी, आपका स्वागत है. और हम आपसे जानना चाहते हैं कि आप तो सरकारी सिस्टम में काम करती हैं, आप काफी सारे हेल्थ प्रोग्राम्स में काम करती हैं, इतनी मीटिंग्स अटेंड करती हैं पंचायत लेवल पे, ब्लॉक लेवल पे.
हाँ जी, हमारी मीटिंग
तो
बहुत सारी
आपका
अटेंड होती है
जी, लेकिन आपका इस चीज में आप क्यों जुड़ी हुई हैं? क्या है ऐसा जो आपको अच्छा लगता है इसके बारे में?
मीटिंगें तो हमारी बहुत सारी होती है, लेकिन मैं जो इस सॉल्ट में जुड़ी हूँ, सबसे पहले तो मैं ममता एनजीओ का धन्यवाद करती हूँ इसमें कि जो हमारे को इसमें जानकारी मिलती है सॉल्ट के माध्यम से, हम इसमें बहुत इसमें लोगों से जुड़े, हमारा इसमें बोलने का आत्मविश्वास बढ़ा. मीटिंगें तो बहुत अटेंड की, लेकिन उसमें बोलने का हमारे को मतलब झिझक होती थी, हम आगे नहीं बोल पाते थे अच्छे ढंग से. तो जब से हमने इसमें सॉल्ट मीटिंग अटेंड की, तो इसमें हमारा मतलब लोगों के साथ एक अच्छी कम्युनिटी बनी, अच्छा बिहेव लोगों के साथ हुआ, तो लोग अधिक संख्या में आए और उनके साथ जो है अपनी कहानियां शेयर करने का हमें मौका मिला. और इस तरह से जो है मुझे समाज सेवा करने का भी इसमें और अच्छा मौका मिला. इसमें मैंने सोचा कि मैं कुछ और आगे बढ़ना चाहती हूँ, आगे करना चाहती हूँ, इसलिए मैंने इसमें जो है शॉर्ट मीटिंग ज्वाइन की.
जी. धन्यवाद. We will be posting the chat in the chat box, the English translation.
Oh, excellent.
I think, yeah.
You want to translate now, or you want us to?
No, we can continue. We don't really have time.
I have translated in the chat, please.
Excellent. Thank you. I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Asha has a lot of important information. I'm very intrigued to ask more questions, but maybe offline I'll take it up another time. Thank you very much. So we also have Rajender, who's complementing the health system from Mamta's side. So Rajender, पहले मैं इंग्लिश में पूछ लेता हूँ, and then आपको जरूरत है तो हिंदी में भी पूछ दूँगा. So you have been observing a lot of lessons learned in the SALT meetings for more than 5 years now, right? 6 years practically. And you also have important interactions with individuals, family settings, and community settings. Where all do you have opportunities to collect information? Can you? Okay.
नमस्कार सर, थैंक यू. वैसे तो no sir.
So my question is, where are the opportunities or channels where you get information about the effect of or impact of SALT happening, in small or in big level? So सवाल ये है कि आप 6 साल से इस प्रोजेक्ट में काम कर रहे हैं और SALT मीटिंग में पिछले 2 साल से काम कर रहे हैं. तो कहाँ आपको ये संयोग मिलता है या सुविधाएं मिलती हैं जहाँ पे आप SALT का जो असर है उसको तथ्य के रूप में कलेक्ट करने के लिए आपको अवसर मिलता है या सुविधाएं मिलती हैं? तो जरा हमको बता सकते हैं? Do you understand the question?
जी सर. सर मैं शुरुआत करना चाहूँगा. जैसे मैं 2 साल से SALT में काम कर रहा हूँ, तो शुरू में जो हमारी ट्रेनिंग हुई थी, SALT हमारे लिए नई चीज थी बिहेवियर चेंज के लिए और कम्युनिटी को इन्वॉल्व करने के लिए कि वो खुद क्या कर सकती है अपने स्वास्थ्य के लिए, अपने समाज के लिए, वो कितनी अवेयर है. तो शायद रितु भी यहाँ अटेंड कर रहे होंगे. रितु ने जब रितु और रफीक आए थे, जब फर्स्ट ट्रेनिंग हमारी हुई थी, तो मैंने रितु को कहा था कि SALT इतना अच्छा माध्यम नहीं हो सकता है क्योंकि हमारे पास शॉर्ट टाइम है और हमारे को काम बहुत ज्यादा है, तो SALT से इतनी ज्यादा प्रोग्रेस नहीं आएगी. तो शायद रितु को रिमाइंड होगा, वो उस मीटिंग में मैंने कहा था. लेकिन आज जब मैं इसका ऑब्जर्वेशन 2 ईयर बाद देखता हूँ, तो आज बहुत सारा चेंज हुआ है. SALT से बहुत सारे कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्व हुई है और वो चेंज हमारे एक्शन में है सारे. और यहाँ इंडिविजुअली चेंज भी हुआ है. सबसे पहले तो मैं अपना ही उदाहरण देता हूँ. मैं बहुत आलसी टाइप का बंदा होता था, तो सुबह टाइम से नहीं उठना, अपना दिनचर्या सही नहीं करनी है. तो पहले तो मैंने अपनी लाइफ में इसको अडॉप्ट किया कि यार SALT है क्या है. तो मैंने सुबह उठना शुरू कर दिया, गांव में 10 लोगों को भी बोलना शुरू कर दिया और धीरे धीरे मेरे अंदर खुद में चेंज आया. फिर मैं जब सोसाइटी में SALT मीटिंग में जाता था और देखता था और लोगों की सुनता था कि क्या है, चलो ठीक है बिहेवियर चेंज है. अब मेरे कहने से कोई अगर मैं बोलूंगा कि सिगरेट छोड़ दो तो नहीं छोड़ेगा, या बोल दो अल्कोहल छोड़ दो तो नहीं छोड़ेगा. तो जब उसको रियलाइज किया कि स्वास्थ्य आपको ये प्रॉब्लम है, जब उसने खुद को अपने से वो उसको अपनी लाइफ में लिया तो चेंज आए. और ऐसे कई एग्जांपल है. हमारे 2 उदाहरण है अभी मेरे ही गांव के. तो एक श्यामलाल जी है जो 10 साल से बीपी के पेशेंट थे. इंडिविजुअली चेंज बताऊंगा मैं पहले आपको. तो वो दवाई भी रूटीन से नहीं खाते थे और ज्यादा वो परहेज नहीं रख पाते थे. थोड़ा अल्कोहल भी लेते थे और अपने सिगरेट भी लेते थे. लेकिन धीरे धीरे उन्होंने जब SALT मीटिंग में 3 साल पहले वो आए, जब उन्होंने फर्स्ट मीटिंग की अपने गांव में, तो उनके अंदर वो चेंज आया कि धीरे धीरे उन्होंने छोड़ ही दी है. एक हिसाब से छोड़ ही दी है. वो बोलते कि अब तो मैं करता ही नहीं हूँ इस चीज को. और उनका वो एक वीडियो भी है. तो उन्होंने ये अपने सेल्फ चेंज किया है और कम्युनिटी में बहुत सारे एक्शन है. हाँ जी,
मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन आपको अवसर कहाँ दिखता है कि आपने ये जो परिवर्तन है इसको आपने गौर किया? एक आध वो एग्जाम्पल दे दीजिए.
जी, जैसे हमारे SALT विलेजेस है. अभी हम 36 विलेज में काम कर रहे हैं. तो 36 विलेज में मेरे को 10 विलेजेस में इसके रिएक्शन दिख रहे हैं कि लोग जैविक खेती की ओर चले गए हैं और वो अपने स्वास्थ्य को ठीक करने के लिए उन्होंने ये कारण SALT मीटिंग से ढूंढ लिया है कि हमारा जो खाद्य पदार्थ है अगर वो सही है तो हम अपने आप को सही रख सकते हैं. तो उन्होंने 10 साल का अपना ड्रीम बनाया है, तो वो इस जैविक खेती को भी अपने लाइफ में अडेप्ट कर रहे हैं। और फिर योगा डे अभी रिसेंटली जो 21 जून को योगा डे हुआ, तो हमने किसी को भी पर्सनली नहीं बोला था कि योगा डे सेलिब्रेट करो आप लोग, लेकिन जो सॉल्ट मीटिंग में उन्होंने तय किया था वो अपने निजी जीवन में करते हैं। वो एक दिन के लिए ही नहीं बल्कि 6 विलेजेस में 6 एक्शन हुए हैं, और वो उन्होंने कम्युनिटी ने खुद सॉल्ट ग्रुप जो पेशेंट सपोर्ट सॉल्ट ग्रुप मीटिंग है, उन्होंने खुद वो अपनी कम्युनिटी में चेंज लाए हैं। और फिर इंडिविजुअली भी अगर कहे तो इंडिविजुअली भी मैंने जो हमारे पेशेंट हैं उनमें देखा है, मैक्सिमम पेशेंट दवाई, पहले ये था कि उनको जो तो पेशेंट है उनको तो दवाई खाने में से भी दिक्कत होती थी, तो धीरे धीरे अब वो रूटीन में दवाई भी ले रहे हैं। और जो हमारे प्रिवेंशन के लिए जो है हमारी सोसाइटी में जो लोग अभी इस चीज में नहीं है, उनके अंदर भी एक वो जागरूकता देखी है मैंने कम्युनिटी में, कि जब भी कोई कैंप हमारी कम्युनिटी या होता है तो वो स्क्रीनिंग के लिए आते हैं। तो ऐसे एग्जांपल स्क्रीनिंग के हमारे सॉल्ट ग्रुप ने भी लगभग 4 विलेजेस ने अपने ही उनके खुद के एफर्ट से वो जो कम्युनिटी अपने पीएचजी के जो मेंबर है उन्होंने खुद ऑर्गेनाइज किया है इस तरह के। तो मैं उसमें चेंज देखता हूँ कि सोसाइटी में ये चेंज है।
राजेंद्र
जी,
ये बहुत बहुत ठोस जानकारी है। ये जरूर हमारे इवैल्यूएशन टीम को काफी सफलता देगी उनके काम में। मैं समय के अभाव से आपको थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे रोक रहा हूँ क्योंकि हमारे पास और भी पैनलिस्ट हैं, लेकिन ये सारी जानकारी जो आपने दी है मेरे ख्याल से आप हमारी इवैल्यूएशन टीम को भी देंगे ताकि हमको ये सारी चीजें जो है बिल्कुल सम्यक रूप में डॉक्यूमेंट करने को मिले। ठीक है, सो बुरा ना माने तो मैं पैनल डिस्कशन को आगे लेके चलूं।
जी सर, जी सर।
Thank you. So essentially I had to cut him short because he was providing a lot of information about the opportunities where he observes organic evolution of transformation in the socio-dynamics, probably attributable or not attributable to the SALT meetings, but he sort of attributes them to exposure to SALT meeting, which I think is a subject of discussion for the evaluation team. So in this panel, we have a very esteemed panelist, Dr. Gopal Ashish Sharma. Welcome. We haven't met before, but I look forward to talking to you at some other time. So you have observed the health system from a bird's eye view during your work and career, and you have also observed community changes by being a student of community medicine. So can you tell me, do you see any role of this kind of complex organic interventions within communities that may have scalability opportunities for the entire state as far as chronic care is concerned?
Yeah, good evening everybody, and thanks Dr. Najit for putting up the question. What I feel, actually I was the district program officer in that area for that district, particularly for control of non-communicable disease. And I also remember I was in this event thanks to Dr. Gaurav and of course Ritu, and I also attended one of the SALT meetings. But in my SALT meeting, which I had attended one, what was the difference was it was not the communities involved, but the meeting was with ASHA workers. ASHA workers of that block, they were in a sort of a group chair meeting, and I was made part of it. And the real difference, which was mentioned in the chat also, was that everybody was made to feel comfortable by sitting in a circle. And soon we started the session with the opening up of the SALT. For me also, the SALT was a new thing. And the best thing what I realized after the session was the rapport building between a program manager and the outreach worker, or you can say healthcare provider at the end delivery point. It could be possible that as in this conversation only, one of the ASHA workers has said, that meeting तो हमने बहुत अटेंड की हैं, लेकिन हम खुल के बात नहीं कर पाते. For other audience, I may translate it to myself that we have attended many meetings of a government health sector, but sometimes we are not able to put forth our viewpoint. And in this kind of SALT meeting, what has happened, although the things started with story sharing, all were made comfortable in the sense that they should share some positive story about themselves. I still remember that Ritu even forced me also, not forced me, rather she gave me an opportunity that I should also share some positive story about me. That changed the whole scenario about the SALT meeting. And then we discussed various aspects of it. I also learned a bit. Pertaining to your question, sir, is it scalable? The key difference I would like to, from my viewpoint, is I would like to shift the discussion of this panel to the image put forth by only the period, the difference between where the power lies between the health sector or the communities, and the pivot lies in the dissemination of the scientific knowledge to the community itself. If we are able to pour the scientific knowledge in a simplest of terms to the communities through available means at their respective levels, where they do not feel it like that it is some kind of order, it can definitely work. I would like now you to please pour other questions.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. This is very enlightening, and that actually, sort of prompts me to ask Gaurav, as a segue, a very pertinent question from what I learned from you. So, Gaurav, you belong to a private sector, non-governmental organization. You are the state program manager, I guess, for this program, and you've been there for the last 6 years doing this program. So, how do you manage to get the support of the health authorities while you represent a private sector NGO here? Can you very briefly tell us some important elements of your journey?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for the question. Sir, basically, initially it was not easy, but we started with the state level licensing. We have introduced our project, and emphasis was made on how project will strengthen the existing program, like NPCDS. Government have NPCDCS program. So further licensing was made with the district and block official. This was done after getting letter of support from the state. Then we trained the frontline health workers and medical officers first, and it was the first training which was conducted in the state. And this data was also incorporated and sent to the ministry by a state. So according to me, one thing which helped us the most was providing timely update to the health officials, sharing challenges in the field, and getting the solution from the officials only. So we never built any parallel system in the state. Our priority was to strengthen the existing system. The best example was health card. Health card was, we have made the application for government of Himachal Pradesh, and this application was launched by the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh in 2017. So,
Gaurav, can you speak a bit louder, please, or close to the mic?
So basically, we made this application for government of Himachal Pradesh for NCDs, and we never built a parallel system in the state. Our priority was to strengthen the existing system. So we helped the health system with this application, which was later known as Mukhyamantri Nirog Yojana. This highlighted the Health Rise project at the state as well as the national level, and further made the licensing more stronger. So this is the basically the main thing is that the regular progress update, regular the sharing the challenges with the state officials and the district officials. This is the main reason for the licensing, sir. And we got the support from the state.
Excellent. So what I hear from you is you first took the government officials at different levels into confidence, and then worked with them in order to complement instead of creating a parallel sort of a health program. Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Excellent. I would also sort of encourage the esteemed audience to push in your possible questions or reflections in the chat. In the interest of time, I have at least 3 more panelists to go, but I'm very intrigued to know what our distinguished audience online also feels about this conversation. So please keep in your questions or comments or reflections as we continue to talk, and let me see if I can have some time for discussing that part as well. So I want to go to Ritu, the facilitator for Constellation, who has been instrumental in bringing SALT to this program. Do you document some of the learnings in a methodical approach, or how do you really document? I know the SALT is being implemented across more than 70 countries or so. That's what I heard. How do you really document your progress, and how do you report? Be very quick if you can, but I'm really intrigued to know. Ritu.
Yeah. So, Dr. Nayanjeet and everybody, if you recall, the community goes through that cycle. And so the documentation, I would proudly say, is primarily by the community. So, for instance, if we were working in 90 villages in Assam, then 90 villages developed their dream for health of their children. They did their self-assessment, their action planning. So we have everything documented, the actions they have taken. So this kind, and as we always say, context
Ritu,
is
speak
so,
closer to the microphone, or at least a bit louder if you can.
Okay, is it better? So yeah, so when so if you look at, like, example I'm just giving, in Assam where we had 90 villages, 90 different dreams and 90 self-assessments. So as we say that, the context is so important. In India, things vary from village to village. So this kind of data is very useful, can be very useful to NGOs and the government. Like, we can see, okay, there the community thinks water is an issue, there the community thinks immunization, there diabetes. And this kind of is a needs assessment done by the community themselves. And our my colleague, she's a government official in Philippines, and when she has to introduce a livelihood project, she does this CLCP process in the communities on livelihood, and then she introduces. So this is kind of documentation we do. Also, documentation is how facilitators, their reflections. Reflection is a very important part, community-led reflection and the facilitator. And yeah, the reports, blogs, WhatsApp. Yeah, this is how we document.
Thank you, Ritu. No wonder you are an evaluator, so you know the language of the evaluator very well. So you are very articulate about that. So, I am a little excited to ask our evaluators. We have three of them here actually, led by Dr. Shalini Gyar. So Ritu, you talked about documentation, which probably gives the community an opportunity to look at their aspirations, come back to what they had promised to themselves, and then relook at their approach, redesign their probably plan of action. I understand from a monitoring perspective, these are excellent, I think, organic documentation systems, but from an external evaluation perspective, or a validation perspective when it comes to scientific evaluation of such very complex programs, I want to ask maybe Dr. Anant, if you can quickly give me 1 or 2 minutes of answer. How do you integrate a very complex set of evaluation strategy for data collection that you elaborated, maybe half an hour back, in evaluating such a complex, social experiment, what you call SALT? Be brief if you can. Thank you. Anand, can you hear me?
Sure. Yes, Dr. Nayanjeet. So, as I mentioned, we have used the parallel mixed method approach for evaluation.
You said that in your presentation. We have seen that, yeah.
Yeah, so this enables us in purposeful data integration, as in both at data collection level, during analysis, during interpretation, So the approach itself helps in data integration. This mixed method approach also gives us a panoramic view of capturing nuanced socio-behavioral changes adopted by both the individuals and the community. And also having 4 distinct arms is also a unique design, and this also helps in data integration and analysis.
So
along with our quantitative.
Brian, I'm sorry, just to clarify for myself and the audience, do you continuously triangulate information, both quantity and quality, and then go back? I mean, what do you do exactly?
So we have a regular qualitative interviews along with quantitative, and we analyze on a regular basis, and we go back, we collect more information about the key areas of probe questions that we would identify from the previous interviews. And this would, both the quantitative and qualitative would, the data would give a broader picture as to what is happening on the ground, how better we can capture these information. Also, we have a huge set of information from the after experience reflections, which is recorded by the ORWs after each SALT meeting. And this AER, as we call, is shared with the evaluation team electronically. And also the outreach workers in both the sites have formatively captured stories of change on the ground. So they have been shared with.
Ananda, maybe if I can still 1 or 2 minutes, I will see, but I'll have to cut you short because I want to give Dr. Shalini an opportunity to tell us why this design. Was there no other alternatives? Dr. Shalini.
No, the thing is, we are using a quasi-experimental approach because the thing is, it cannot be a purely randomized trial. It has, because there might be contamination, as you know, in villages. There is heterogeneity, confounding factors may be present in every arm, and therefore we had this approach where we would look at socio-behavioral or socio-cognitive theory, where they can learn from what is happening around them, and therefore we use this mixed methods approach.
How unbiased is the evaluation team? What I hear is that the evaluation team is on the field, multiple time stamps from the beginning till the end.
Yes.
How independent is the evaluation?
Well, when we go to places or we go to people on our own independently, as we get the information about patients or ORWs or ASHA workers, we go and meet them independent of the implementers, and we get information from them which is quite unbiased.
Just one last question from my side, because I at least want to do justice to some of the chat messages. Is it necessary to really start planning the monitoring and evaluation in parallel with the program for evaluation of such kind of a complex intervention? And how is it different from the traditional approaches?
That would be the best. I mean, we are not here to point out any mistakes or anything like that. It is, we try to work in synergy with the implementation team. And we have started this evaluation right from the beginning of the project. So it helps us build a rapport both with the implementation team, with the people who are actually undergoing the SALT process. And we try to bring out the nuances of the change, the gradual change that might be taking place.
I'm sure the audience must be as excited as I am to know, when do you want to disseminate these results?
Well, we have to wait and see. I mean,
or maybe Dr. Anand, whoever.
Yeah, so we are in the process of our inline evaluation. So it would take us the month of July to triangulate both the data, bring it, make sense of it, understand the nuances of these changes, and then give a very comprehensive report, maybe by the end of July or early August.
Thank you. I don't want to, but I have to cut this talk show here. with a sense of pain in the heart, because this is a fantastic conversation. Over to you, Harsha, because I know there are a lot of messages in the chat box. If anybody has picked up any important questions or reflections, can one of the organizers share or even ask one of the panelists if we can? I have 2 more minutes. Harsha.
Yes. Thank you very much to all the panelists, and thank you so much, Dr. Nayanjeet, for moderating and facilitating the entire talk show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we have we've tried and answered a couple of questions in the chat box, which we should take up. The audience can for sure ask if there's at all anything that you would like to ask before we close.
And a group picture, Harsha.
Yes, that will happen after we are. So.
Was there a result of the polls? I don't know why I'm so anxious.
So, anyone from the participants who would like to share their reflections, out of the session, or anything that you think about the project, about SALT, about evaluation, that you want us to speak.
Okay.
Yeah. On a positive note, there was a question from one of the participants, I think, rather, that how many SALT meetings can bring a change? Are SALT people working on those lines or not? Please reflect on that. Is it possible to reflect upon that how many SALT meetings can bring a change?
Let's wait for the results of the evaluation team. I think that's a very pertinent and critical question. I hope Anant and Dr. Shalini's team will come back with some of these crucial answers. Thank you very much,
okay, sir.
Dr. Ashish. Did you say, Harsha, you want a group photo?
Yes.
So before the group photo, before the group photo, I would like to announce the results of the poll. So
okay.
for Raja, Mr. Raja, the highest polls were for option number C.
What was that?
Sorry, just a minute. Sure. I'm getting onto it. So the highest poll was for option number C for Mr. Raja from Udaipur, and for Mrs. Rani from Shimla, highest polls were for option number D.
So D, I know that Rani would go and get some more people to the testing center. That's what I voted for, and I also voted for C, but I don't remember what C was. Can you read that out? Was he more skeptical about it? I forgot.
Unsure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mridula. So now may I request all the participants to please put on their videos so that we can have a group photograph. And I hope we have your consent for this.
Consented.
So I am very, very happy that we are so many people. I don't think we can fit in one screen. We'll have to. Okay, so just hold on.
We request you all to please switch on your videos.
Sangeeta and Nanda and Koma from Mamta. Could you please switch on your videos if you don't mind? Okay. Thank you. I'm going to take another shot. just last, I am trying to bring everybody on one screen. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for joining in. I know all of you are getting late and it's been long. So I'm really thankful to each one and every one of you here, and also to my partners. Thank you and have a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Harsha,
so
for
much.
moderating.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.